Everybody, Earl at thelogbook.com, back with more Tales of Infinite Sheep. This story is from quite a bit later on in my career, since we're kind of doing spooky season spots, and why not, because it's spooky season. I thought I would tell the story of and Mercutio's is back here with me, so we still have some black cat representation. Just wanted to get that in. I thought I would tell the story of getting a slightly more sophisticated Halloween-themed spot put together. This one, again, I think it was one of these things that was done in a single night because it was a 10 o'clock news promo, and it was something about apparently there is a ghost in the King Opera House in Van Buren. It's never said boo to me, but but apparently there is one. And so this was a bit of an evergreen news story about that local legend. And one unique feature of, and I'm going to say this was probably around 2003, judging by the station logo. Let's actually take a look at it. And let me jog my memory as well.
This Halloween, 4029 takes you to a hometown haunt. Does the King Opera House have its own phantom? Is a ghost stalking its stage? 4029 has a hometown ghost story. Tonight at 10 on your hometown news.
I am trying to remember if that was the great Rusty Black going spooky on us, or if that was our rent a voice guy from out of town who would seems like I remember he would beam stuff in on a T1 line back when a T1 line was like, whoa, you've got a T1 line where you work? Wow. Broadband was not really a thing back then, and or at least not a widespread thing, I'll put it that way. As you can see, there was zero actual footage in that spot. It is all graphics, baby. And that is because I would have to write the promo scripts and get them approved by the news department and by my boss, who was John Livingston. Good guy to work for. I liked John. We went through this period starting in around 2003 where kind of the edict from the management was, we do not want to see the news anchors at a desk in the promo. Put anything else on the screen but them. It's not like they're fugly or something, but news anchor at the desk, that is the lowest possible hanging fruit. That represents the lowest effort for a promo. And yet at the same time, the reason that up to that point we so frequently wound up with news anchor at a desk was because the story hadn't been shot yet. The photogs hadn't gone out on the story yet. So what do you do? Well, this coincided roughly with right around the time that our promo department had a major equipment upgrade. We finally ditched our Mac-based Avid system, and it was... I'd been working with Mac-based Avid systems all the way back to WACY in Green Bay. Became very familiar with the Avid there, and got even more familiar with it at 4029. And I really loved the Avid. Once you memorized all the hotkeys and everything, because everything on the keyboard did more than one thing. Once you had that stored in your head, and you could just do stuff with minimal mouse movement, because if you moused everywhere. In Avid, it would take you forever to do anything. If you were au fait with the hotkeys, then you could make that thing sing. And we also had the Mac-based system, however, especially at 4029, our engineering department did not really... They had inherited the Mac. They did not like the Mac. They did not maintain the Mac. The Mac was barely on the network. It was barely on the local area network in the station. It was kind of its own little island. There were two of them. There was one in commercial production, one in promotions. Nobody liked the Mac because it took forever to render anything. I believe it was early 2003 that we finally ditched the Mac-based system, and we got... Because it was a Mac-based media composer, we got a PC-based, I think it was Avid Newscutter system. Which Newscutter is actually supposed to be part of a network-based thing where everyone in news can be editing stuff, and it's all network storage. It's all NAS. And so anyone can check up on anyone's work at any given time. At least that's the theory. But our whole newsroom was still editing on tape. We had the Avid. Commercial production had an Avid. That was it. So, okay. And if I remember correctly, this was around the time of Windows NT. It was Windows NT based. But that thing was so fast. And we also had a PC that I quietly installed some animation software on that I was very familiar from working with it at home on my own projects. And I was like, okay, I need all my toys here. I need all my tricks and all my tools here. And so, I didn't really ask the engineering department. I just brought in my install discs and installed it on that PC with my license key. Sorry. Of course, nowadays you do something like that. There's, engineering is also acting as the IT police. And, they will throw you in the IT slammer for that sort of thing. But back then, it was kind of the Wild West, and engineering wasn't yet being the IT traffic cops. But it was on the horizon. So this was a matter of pulling stuff out of Associated Press Graphics Bank, just layering it, fading it in, fading it out judiciously. It's really, this whole spot is on a very slow burn.
This Halloween, 4029 takes you to a hometown haunt. Does the King Opera House have its own phantom? Is a ghost stalking its stage? 4029 has a hometown ghost story. Tonight at 10 on your hometown news.
There are really, at most, like 4 or 5 elements on that screen at any given point. My favorite of which was, in this flowery script font in the background, kind of halfway faded in. There is this passage of Hamlet that deals with, one's imminent mortality. It just goes by, has nothing to do with the spot, but, if anyone was actually paying really close attention, it would be like, oh, we understand the assignment, but I don't think it went by so fast, I don't think anyone had time to process that. But I did like the fact that the, kind of the drama mask gradually turns into a skull. And so that was our spooky season spot. I'm going to say that was October of 03, which at that time, depending on when sweeps started, late October may have been part of sweeps. It may have been part of November sweeps, because generally you would want sweeps to be over right before Thanksgiving, and so November sweeps frequently did start in late October. So I do believe that was a sweeps spot, and I was kind of insufferably proud of it, considering that it contains no actual footage.